Hi guys, it's Mark from www.crested-geckos.com. I've been asked to make a video about egg care and how to incubate the eggs. So the first thing you need for your female to lay eggs is a lay box. What I've got here is just an old cricket tub with some eco-earth in. Just leave that in the enclosure for the entire mating season, and she'll be happy to lay her eggs in there. The eco-earth needs to be a bit damp, so that it's a nice sort of the right consistency for her to lay her eggs in. You'll know when she's ready to lay eggs because she'll come out a bit earlier than normal, looking around, quite a lot more active earlier on in the evenings, and she'll be digging around in places. So make sure you've got this lay box in. If you don't have a lay box for her to lay her eggs in, then she won't lay eggs if she doesn't lay them in the substrate, and she could become egg bound and die from that. So it's really important that you've got a lay box in. So all that is then is just to recap on that, is a cricket tub with some eco-earth in. You can also use this stuff. This is a tropical terrain block made by Komodo. It's basically the same stuff as eco-earth. You just soak it in water and it expands into like an earthy sort of substance like that. So that's that covered. Once you've laid her eggs in there, you need to check the lay box every day for eggs. You can look, if it's see-through like the cricket tub, you can look underneath because the eggs will be buried right at the bottom. But check every day for eggs very, very carefully. Sift through that, see if there's any eggs. Because you need to take them out and incubate them as soon as you can, really. Moving on to the incubator then, what you need is an old tub, Tupperware tub, ice cream tub. What I've got here is a tub from Tesco's that they had little mini donuts in. It's okay, you can use any tub as long as it's all washed out and cleaned properly before you use it. It doesn't matter at all where the tubs come from, as long as it's clean. I use vermiculite in my incubators. It's very good at holding humidity, and it's pretty cheap as well. This big sort of bag was only about £2, can't remember, something like £2. And you can get it from your local reptile shop. You just pour a bit in, like that. You need it about 1.5 to 2 inches deep is fine, as long as there's a nice sort of thick layer there for the eggs to sit on. It's kind of weird stuff. It's like, it feels a bit foamy or spongy to the touch, but it holds humidity really well. What we need to do is, once that's put in there, is soak it in water. So I've got some water here. Just going to pour it in. I don't know if that's enough. Really properly soak it. Oh, that is just about enough. You can see it's quite messy, it sticks to your hands a lot when you're doing this. But just mix it all up, make sure it's really soaked, and then squash it all down, because what we're going to do now is just pour off the excess. So soak it, make sure it's all really wet, squash it all down, and then we'll just pour the excess off, and you won't have too much in there then. Doesn't matter if some of the vermiculite comes out, it's impossible to stop really, but like that. Yeah, that's good. Give it a little pat down so it's even. Doesn't have to be neat though, of course. That'll do. I'm just going to rinse my hands. Okay. Right, so that I can show you, what I'm going to do is transfer over 4 eggs that I've got incubating at the moment from the incubator that I'm currently using. There they are. We've got the top 2 eggs, they're due to hatch sort of within the next week or maybe 2 weeks. and those are due to hatch in about 40 days, something like that. But you've got to be really careful when you're handling your eggs, because you don't want to obviously drop them, damage them, or kill them. When you're picking them out of the lay box, it's important that you don't turn them. You have to pick them up the way that they've been laid, because if you turn them, the embryo inside could drown in the fluid in the egg. Okay, so it's really important. Some people like to mark their eggs with a marker pen. You can use a felt tip pen, something like that, something that's non-toxic. And when you pick up the eggs, thumb and forefinger each side, because that's where the egg's strongest at the ends, and then hand underneath, just in case you do let go of it, and then just pop it in. Make a small indentation with one of your fingers in the vermiculite, and the egg can sit in there nicely. So I'll do that with all 4. You should hold them for as little amount of time as possible. Sorry about the phone ringing, I'll ignore that. Obviously the less you handle the eggs, the less chance there is of something going wrong with them, or you dropping them, or them being damaged in some way. Okay, so that's that. As I said, I've just moved those so that I can show you how to handle them and how they should be in the substrate, in the vermiculite, sorry. Ideally you want about 1/4 to 1/3 of the egg below the level of the vermiculite, the rest should sit above it. You don't want to have them buried too much, because obviously the vermiculite is going to be damp, and it could cause mould to grow on the eggs, which isn't ideal really. And in terms of caring for the eggs, same temperature as you keep your crested geckos at, so sort of in the 70s is fine. The warmer the temperatures, the quicker the eggs will hatch, and the cooler the temperature, the longer they'll take to hatch. Generally, the longer they take to hatch, the healthier the geckos are when they come out, and the bigger they are. They take between 60 and 120 days to hatch, and you need to keep it fairly humid in there, humidity 65–70%, and to do that we just spray inside, being careful not to spray on the eggs themselves. Just sort of spray around the eggs like that every couple of days, like so. If you do get water on the eggs, don't worry, just get a tissue or something and rest it on the egg. Don't put any pressure, just rest it on so it can soak up any water that might be on there, and it'll be fine. It just so that mould doesn't start growing on the eggs. You close it up, you can make air holes in the top or open it every day. I'm here all the time anyway, so I just leave it open for 10 minutes each day just to keep the air inside fresh. But that's all there is to it really. If you've got any more questions, or if you want to know anything or any video requests regarding crested geckos or any aspect of their care, you can get hold of me on my forums, which is www.crested-geckos.com. There's a link to the right hand side of this video on YouTube, which will take you there. Okay, I hope that all made sense, and I hope you find it useful. Thank you.